The Indiana Fever's playoff win should have been a night of pure joy. The kind of historic breakthrough fans had waited years to witness. The crowd roared, players screamed, and the energy inside the arena was undeniable. But just when the celebration reached its peak, something far darker unfolded. An injured Sophie Cunningham, sitting in a leg brace, was simply clapping for her teammates when a league security guard stormed toward her. Out of nowhere, what should have been a moment of triumph was transformed into one of controversy, and fans were left absolutely stunned by what they saw. Sophie Cunningham wasn't dressed to play. She wasn't charging onto court. She wasn't anywhere near the scorer's table. She was standing beside Caitlin Clark and Chloe BBY, all three cheering from the bench as the final whistle blew. Yet for some inexplicable reason, the security officer ignored everyone else and got directly in Sophie's face. The optics were startling. An injured player with a leg brace being treated like a criminal during her team celebration. Fans immediately asked the question burning through social media: why Sophie and only Sophie? What makes this confrontation even more bizarre is that Sophie did not break a single rule. She didn't cross the line, didn't disrupt play, and didn't escalate anything. And yet the security guard leaned in aggressively, shouting at her as if she were about to spark a riot. The confusion on Sophie's face turned into disbelief, then hardened into that trademark Cunningham glare. How could the league justify this? How could they possibly explain targeting one of their most visible players at such a crucial playoff moment? Within minutes, the clip went viral. It wasn't the Fever's victory, Lexi Hull's heroics, or Aaliyah Boston's dominance making headlines. No, the story was Sophie Cunningham being shouted at by security while confined to a leg brace. Fans across YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok latched onto the footage, replaying the absurdity over and over. Hashtags like #FreeSophie, #WNBA and #Done trended within hours. What should have been a Fever celebration parade online quickly turned into a tidal wave of outrage directed at the league, and the backlash was only beginning. The reason this moment cut so deep for fans is because it wasn't isolated. Sophie Cunningham has long been a polarizing figure in the WNBA. She's outspoken, fiery, and unapologetically herself. And for years, she's been branded as a villain of the league by media, by rival fan bases, and now, it seems, even by the league's own staff. Sophie is one of the few players unafraid to challenge the narratives the WNBA pushes. And for that, she has consistently found herself under the harshest microscope imaginable. This incident only confirmed fans' worst suspicions. Consider the double standard. When Angel Reese or Natasha Cloud show fiery support from the bench, it's celebrated as passion. When Sophie claps and cheers, it's somehow seen as dangerous. Fans immediately spotted the hypocrisy and called it out. Social media filled with comments accusing the WNBA of selective enforcement. People pointed to Sophie's race, her personality, and her refusal to conform as reasons she gets singled out. And while some argue it was coincidence, the majority weren't buying it. The evidence felt too blatant, too consistent, to dismiss as anything else. Even more damning was that Caitlin Clark and Chloe BBY were right beside Sophie in that exact moment. Both were cheering, clapping, and standing near half court, just like Sophie. Yet no security guard approached them. No one shouted. No one intervened. Only Sophie was confronted. Fans pieced together instantly, sharing side-by-side clips showing Caitlin untouched while Sophie got barked at. The narrative practically wrote itself. This wasn't about rules. It was about sending a message. And it was Sophie once again, paying the price for refusing to play by the league script. The irony, of course, is that Sophie handled it like a professional. She didn't lash out, didn't yell, and didn't create a bigger scene. She stood her ground, made it clear she wouldn't be intimidated, and let her body language do the talking. That quiet defiance resonated with fans more than any heated exchange could have. They rallied around her instantly, flooding her social media with messages of support. To them, Sophie had once again been unfairly treated, but her resilience in the face of humiliation only solidified why she remains one of the league's most popular figures. And make no mistake, Sophie Cunningham is popular. Whether the league acknowledges it or not, she drives clicks, views, and conversation. Her highlights trend, her interviews circulate, and her presence, even in street clothes, boosts attention around the Fever. Yet the WNBA consistently sidelines her in its marketing. She's rarely featured in promos compared to less relevant players. When controversies arise, she's cast as the villain instead of the star. Fans can see it, they know it, and this latest incident felt like the league once again sabotaging one of its biggest assets. The fallout was immediate and brutal for the WNBA. Instead of basking in the glow of a playoff win, they were facing headlines about incompetence, hypocrisy, and double standards. Fans weren't congratulating the Fever. They were roasting the league. Memes comparing security guard to Paul Blart Mall cop flooded timelines. Comment sections called the officer power-hungry and unprofessional. But beneath the jokes was genuine anger. Fans felt robbed of the chance to celebrate the Fever's success because once again, the WNBA let petty drama overshadow basketball. And that frustration only grew louder with every replay of the clip. This outrage connects to a larger pattern fans have long noticed. Caitlin Clark has faced repeated targeting on the court. Hard fouls that go uncalled, narratives downplaying her impact, and constant scrutiny that goes beyond basketball. Sophie now finds herself in the same cycle. Rather than embracing these polarizing stars as growth engines, the league seems determined to diminish them. The double standard isn't just frustrating, it's destructive. Because if fans feel their favorite players are being sabotaged, their loyalty begins to waver. And for a league fighting for relevance, alienating fans is the ultimate self-inflicted wound. The bigger problem is perception. The WNBA loves to talk about ratings, growth, and momentum, but perception is everything in sports. And when casual fans tune in only to see an injured Sophie treated like a criminal for cheering, they don't see professionalism, they see pettiness. They see a league more focused on enforcing narratives than celebrating players. That perception is poison, because once fans label the league as unserious, all the TV deals, sponsorships, and Twitter trends in the world won't change their minds. Incidents like this aren't just bad optics, they're catastrophic to the league's credibility, and fans let the league know it. Thousands of comments blasted Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, calling her leadership a disaster. Some demanded her resignation, claiming she had turned the WNBA into a circus act. Others pointed out how every big spotlight moment seems to end in controversy rather than celebration. Instead of talking about basketball, fans were once again talking about drama, and they were fed up. The Fevers when it should have been a turning point. Instead, it became another embarrassing chapter in a league that can't seem to get out of its own way. The heartbreaking part is how avoidable it all was. Sophie Cunningham wasn't causing trouble. She wasn't risking injury. She wasn't even near the action. She was cheering, supporting her teammates, and embracing the moment. Yet, somehow, that was enough for the league to make her the story. Fans looked at this and saw exactly what they've been complaining about for years. A league obsessed with control, unwilling to let its biggest personalities shine, and quick to punish anyone who dares to stand out. Sophie became the lightning rod, and fans weren't going to let it slide. Even more telling was how fans contrasted Sophie's treatment with that of others. They pointed to Angel Reese being celebrated for her passion, Natasha Cloud praised for her intensity, while Sophie is painted as entitled or reckless. The hypocrisy was undeniable, and a viral clip only amplified it. It was no longer just about one security guard. It was about the culture of the league. Fans accused the WNBA of choosing favorites, of deliberately crafting narratives while silencing or punishing those who don't conform. And in that moment, Sophie became the latest victim of the league's own politics. The anger only grew when fans realized this wasn't just about Sophie's treatment in isolation. It was about the league's inability to capitalize on its biggest stars. Sophie Cunningham moves the needle. Caitlin Clark moves the needle. These are the names that bring in casual viewers, drive sponsorships, and keep the league trending. Yet instead of celebrating them, the league lets controversies pile up. Instead of highlighting their strengths, the league allows humiliating moments to define them. Fans see this and ask the obvious question: how can a league desperate for growth keep sabotaging its own players? As outrage built, Sophie herself remained composed. She didn't ignite a war of words, didn't escalate online, and didn't turn it into a circus. But her silence spoke volumes. Her glare during the confrontation said everything. She wasn't intimidated. She wouldn't be diminished. That resilience, that refusal to crumble under pressure, resonated with fans in ways the league can never script. Every time Sophie faces adversity, her fan base grows stronger. Every time she's targeted, her supporters rally harder. And this incident only reinforced her status as one of the most fiercely beloved, yet unfairly vilified players in the league. The WNBA, however, now faces a crossroads. They can continue down this path of selective enforcement, favoritism, and constant controversy, or they can recognize the stars who truly drive their product and finally embrace them. Because make no mistake, fans aren't stupid. They see the double standards. They see the hypocrisy. And eventually, they'll tune out. A league that treats its stars like enemies cannot survive. And every incident like this one pushes the WNBA closer to that dangerous edge where perception hardens and fans walk away for good. The feverish playoff run should have been the story of resilience. Without Caitlin Clark, they fought through adversity, with Lexi Hull and Aaliyah Boston stepping up in monumental ways. The arena should have been buzzing with excitement about basketball. Instead, it was buzzing with anger about a security guard confronting Sophie Cunningham. That's the tragedy of it all. The WNBA had a golden chance to capture hearts with an unforgettable playoff win. Instead, it reminded everyone of its greatest flaw, a league that can't stop sabotaging itself, even in its brightest moments. Fans aren't letting this go. Every tweet, every meme, every clip only adds to the frustration. And the longer the league refuses to address it, the deeper the damage grows. Sophie Cunningham did nothing wrong, yet she became the face of another WNBA controversy. And until the league confronts why it continues to single out its own stars, these stories will keep repeating. Fans want basketball. They want celebration. But instead, they keep getting drama. And drama, when it becomes predictable, isn't exciting, it's exhausting. For the WNBA, time is running out to fix this cycle. At the end of the day, Sophie's crime was caring about her team. She clapped, she cheered, she stood in a leg brace and supported her sisters. And for that, she was treated like a threat. That image, an injured star, shouted at by security during a playoff celebration, will not fade quickly. It encapsulates everything fans fear about the league, that it punishes individuality, silences personalities, and undermines its own growth. Sophie Cunningham stood her ground. Fans stood with her. And the league, once again, stood exposed for the world to see.